Slum, guys. Slum. It's must be 3 here, you people. Alright, let's hit it. Stop talking, play Blade. I hate that fucking game. Ooh, looks like we're almost there. Indeed, it doesn't feel as though our train ride was all that long. Well, Hamdar is just a stone's throw away with Trista. We could have gone back to Christian that night, yeah, that's true, but plenty of people commute to work in the capital every day after all. Yeah, it's good. Fun, man. Yeah.
Exactly on time.
Huh?
Who's that? I think it's Claire.
Wait, what?
You're that...
You're from the Railway Military Police, if memory serves me correctly.
You're Captain Claire, was it?
That's right. I'm glad you remember me. I believe it's been about 3 months since we last met.
So, this must be the woman the group who went to Keldic encountered.
So this is an officer from the fearsome RMP?
Since you're here, does that mean you're going to be the one assigning our tasks for this month's field study?
No, I'm just here to provide a place for you to talk with the person who is. He should be here any moment now. Oh, here he comes.
Perfect timing.
No way.
Dad?
Huh.
I've seen him in the Imperial Chronicle before.
Governor Regnitz, one of the Reformists' most influential voices.
So this is Machias's father.
This is the first time I've met most of you, so let me introduce myself. I'm Karl Regnitz, Machias's father. I'm the governor of Heimdall and head of the local government. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, ladies and gentlemen of Class 7.
My apologies for the location. I would prefer to brief you in City Hall, but I'm regrettably short on time, so I had to ask the captain here to lend us this room. Anyway, let's move on to confirming your assignments and lodgings. Oh, hold on a minute. How did you of all people end up being the ones who sort our lodgings and tasks? It seems a little too convenient. And now that you mention it, if you wouldn't mind us asking, sir, how did you wind up as our point of contact? My apologies. I probably should have explained a little more first. It's actually a very simple reason. I'm here because I sit on Thors Military Academy's board of directors. No shit. You what? How? First Use's brother and Elise's mother, now his father. Yeah, this shit's crazy. It stretches the bounds of imagination to believe the Academy's choice of directors is a mere coincidence. I'm sure the three of us didn't arrange for it to be that way. If anything, I was unsure what to do when the Academy first offered me the position to me. The Academy did? Would I be right in assuming there's some kind of secret reason behind the formation of Class 7? I'm afraid that's not my place to say, but whatever the case may be, I'm the third and final member of the board of directors, and that's why I'm the one who's prepared your field study tasks and arranged lodging for all of you. Unbelievable. It's all starting to make sense now. Thanks for clearing that up, sir. Anyway, back to what you were saying before. Yes, as I said, I'm short on time, so I'm afraid I'll have to keep this brief. Your field study will take place over 3 days, of which this is the first. As such, the third day will coincide with the start of summer festival. Each group will be assigned half the city and tend to a list of needs I've drawn up for you. Thank you. So one group will take the eastern half of the city and the other will take the west. City's big enough that it looks like we'll be working apart. even though we're in the same place. Indeed, I'm sure you've seen for yourselves how fast Heimdall is. If both groups were to rove around the entire city, you'd have trouble getting anything done. As such, I've broken it down so that all of Group A's tasks covering the area of East Vellinger Street. But Group B's tasks are focused on the area west of Vellinger Street. It must be an important street. I believe Vellinger Street is the main thoroughfare that runs through the city leading to the Imperial Palace. That's the one. As soon as we leave the station, you'll see it stretching out to the north. Sorry, precise division, but for the purpose of this field study, I'm sure it'll be more than sufficient. Now I'd like each group to take one of these envelopes. Address and key. This envelope looks just like the ones we usually get for our old field study itinerary. But what about this address key? Oh, Alter Street, that's where my family lives. Really? Yep, can't say the address brings any particular place of mind, though. I seem to remember Vista Street being a main street on the west side of the city. It's a fairly lively working class neighborhood. That or these. That's why the address of these places you'll be staying while you're here, along with their keys. Both groups will be staying in different places, so just track down your lodgings before you start your work. Thinking of it as a small orienteering exercise to help you get a better feel for the city. My apologies. I'm afraid I'll have to take my leave now. And that preparations for the summer festival have me running from place to place, as you can imagine. I wish I could stay and chat in a bit longer, but it's life politics for you. Oh, and one more thing. The communications functionality of your Arcus has been enabled in the city. Look out there. Wait, hold on. I'm not sure what to make of it all. Since he's a governor, I was expecting him to seem a bit more strict, but he seems actually more playful. Yeah, I feel ashamed you had to see that. He's always been like that, I'm afraid. At least he manages to fill his responsibility as governor somehow. Actually, I heard he's extremely good at his job. Coming from the background he does, he's friendly and down to earth, but people say he's a born leader too. The Imperial Chronicle always paints him in a favorable light as well. I hear he butts heads with noble factions far less than his fellow reformers, Chancellor Osborne. I mean, politics and friendly demeanor can just as easily be an act to sway popular sentiment. After all, there aren't many who can waltz in and borrow meeting space from the RMP. Well, the capital is the nexus of the heart of the nation's entire railway network. As such, the railway military police finds itself indebted daily to Governor Rick's good graces. And this was just an opportunity for us to return the favor, at least a little. Come on now. Thank you for allowing us to use this room for our meeting. We need to get our field study on our way, so if you'll excuse us, of course. I wish you well in your studies. You'll follow me, I'll escort you to the station's exit. Can't trust anybody. Yeah. Incredible. It's so vast. Besides, the city never ceases to amaze me. You know, way too many people. It only starts to sink in that I'm in the orbital capital after I see an orbital tram zipping along. Is that what those little train vehicles are? I've never had the opportunity to ride one, but I believe they're used to ferry people around the city more easily. Yeah, and they're the main form of public transportation here. They link all 16 capital's main districts. There's something like of an icon here in Heimdall. Their fare is pretty cheap too, which makes them convenient for getting around. Lots of people use them so often that they just buy yearly pass. Amazing, all that and so many orbital cars on the roads too. Is that building off in the distance? That would be Var Farm Palace, residence of His Majesty the Emperor. Although, from what I understand, Chancellor Osborne's imperial government is also situated within. Yes, that's the case. Okay. Anyway, I'll be taking my leave here. I wish you the best of luck on your 3 days of field study. Thank you. Thanks for your time seeing us off. He really doesn't seem like an army officer, does he? Indeed. Fuck you, bitch. Though the railway military police are known as one of the Imperial Army's most linked divisions, not to mention one of the branches most despised by the aristocracy. If a province has a railway, you can virtually guarantee they'll use it as an excuse to meddle in its security affairs. I've rarely seen them in Legram, but judging by their actions during our encounter in National Park, they did seem exceptionally well trained. Well, even with the number of soldiers, they had no trouble patrolling over the capital. Even with the number of soldiers, they had no trouble rolling right over the provincial army. On top of that, the captain is so elegant and pretty. She even looks good in uniform. Some of people all have luck. It's like she's everything Sarah is. Damn, you can say that again. Though those two have more than a little history between them. All right, I suppose we ought to get moving then. Yeah, we need to hop a tram to where our lodges are, then get addressed. We've got a long 3 days ahead of us. So let's get my best. You can count on you, bastard. Feed Lord, Giga. May the gods be with you. All take care. All right, bye for now then. This eastbound orbital train will be far momentarily. All those wishing to board, please do so at this time. I've been to the capital a long time. I'm always surprised at how big this street is. Yeah, really? This view is nothing special to those who've lived here all their lives. I suppose seeing all the orbital cars and trams zipping along must be a real sight to the people from the provinces. Indeed, even though in my home province people are depending less and less on horse-drawn carriages, I've seen so many orbital cars. I've never seen so many orbital cars in one place before. Well, even here, carriages were just standard up until about 20 years ago. But these days, they seem kind of quaint. You never really see them anymore. The Republic's capital has a lot of cars, too, just like this. After that, Crossbell probably has the most. Oh, really? You've done a lot of traveling for some of your age, so I guess you were in a... Yeah, Jaeger work takes you places. Anyway, what's also street like? And that's where we're staying while we're here, right? Isn't that where your house is, Elliot? Yeah, it's a pretty calm street, I guess. No? You fucking... Oh, we should be taking a right here. I don't really put myself near Alder Street all that fucking often, you bastards. Looks like you live in a nice part of the city, though. And you think? Anyway, we should start looking for where our lodgings are. Oh, yeah, Elliot, you live around here, right? Why don't we drop by your house first? But, well, it doesn't seem like the natural thing to do. I think I want to see if it's really near here still. I doubt my dad will be, and not sure if my sister will be either. Yeah, I think I noticed you haven't overshipped before. All the more reason to pay visit then, right? Okay, if you insist, thanks. My house is a 2-story place with all the flowers over there. I don't know if anyone's home right now, but we can at least have a look. Huh? It's been it's so long since I was last here. I feel a bit nervous. Don't worry, I know the feeling. No need for such hand wringing. It is your home after all. I know, but still. Okay, come in. Wow, it feels like it's been ages since I was home. This is Elliot's house. Oh, someone there? I'll be with you for a moment. Sorry for the wait. Is she looks just like Elliot. Since I'm home. Elliot? She's hot. Elliot! Should be some voice acting. Well, oh my, it's you. It's really you. I don't think I'd be able to see you again. Oh, thank goodness. She says, please, not in front of my classmates. Looks like they get along pretty well. Yeah, I'm just almost jealous. I'm Ellie's older sister, Fiona Craig. Here you saved my brother's skin at school. I'm so glad to finally meet all of you. Actually, Ellie's the one doing the most saving of the time. Indeed, his attentiveness has proven invaluable on many occasions. Yeah. Are you blushing? Oh, of course, John. Why would I be? You must be Rean, Laura of Maki's Fee. Now I see what you meant when you wrote that you'd find some really interesting friends. Yeah. You're not teaching any painting class today. And so it happens to have a day off. None of the children have come by here, so you picked a good time to visit. Look, just be on here at home. Elliot's in the Wind Orcs at the Academy, too. Is everyone in the family a musician? Well, almost. My dad's not really the musical type. Man, couldn't carry a tune in a wheelbarrow. I'd love the chance to go to a concert as a family once in a while, but he's so busy with work, and he really has a chance to come home. What does your dad do anyway? Have you not told him? Now, as you mentioned, I don't really recall you ever saying. Is something secret you can't talk about? Oh, nothing like that. He's in the Imperial Army. Oh, Imperial Army, really? Yeah. Probably no way you'd guess that looking at me, right? I didn't exactly hear the physique. You got a point. But man, the last name Craig in the Army sounds really familiar. Wait, the father wouldn't have to be Olaf Craig, would he? Be Olaf Craig, decorated Lieutenant General of Airborne's Armed Forces? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's our dad, alright. I think I've heard of him. Many consider him the most formidable army general in the army. And he's known more widely around the Empire simply as Craig the Red. He leads the 4th Armored Division, which boasts the greatest firepower in the entire armed forces. I read about him in the research I did before entering the academy, but I never put two and two together when I met Elliot. Come to think of it, doesn't Instructor Nightheart come from the 4th Division too? It kind of threw me away when I saw Elliot just casually chatting with him a while ago. But now I see why you wound up talking to him outside class. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, man, I'm through my dad before coming to the academy. Well, I'm not surprised you didn't pick against Olaf Craig's son. I was hoping you wouldn't find out. Elliot, Let's take a psychic to see if there's something going on here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make things all up like this. Just don't worry about it. Alright. Do you know of any hotels around here, Fiona? We've got an address for where we're staying. And it's apparently around here, but I've got no clue where it actually is. Well, you're not staying here? Well, we are in town for a field study. Besides, there aren't enough beds here for all of us. But it's been so long since I last saw you. I guess you'll finally reach the age where it's not cool to give your big sis hugs anymore. I feel a little sad, but I guess we'll all grow up. I'll still be watching over you, though. Sis, please. My sister seems to be even more attached to him than he is to her. Still, that's kind of strange. There aren't any hotels in the area, at least not that I know of. Oh, none at all. Perhaps my father gave us the wrong address. He probably seems like the type to make such a careless mistake. I'm not 100% sure, but can you show me the address he gave you? Oh, sure thing, it's written here. Oh, I think I know where it is. Isn't this where the old Bracer Guild used to be? A guild branch. Are you sure? Yeah, an old friend of mine used to work there, though we've been out of touch for a while. Really, I had no idea Bracers on you. Still, that was why my father would choose to put us in an old guild house. Well, we should at least go have a look for ourselves. Do you know the way out here? I think so. It should be just down the road from here. I was hoping you'd stay a bit longer, but if you have things to do, I'll just sit here alone. It'd make my day if you dropped by for meals while you're here, though I'd be more than happy to cook for you all. That sounds great. What do you guys think? Well, if it wouldn't be any trouble, I'm not going to turn down some cooking. I'm in. That's the spirit. I'll be sure to treat you to the very best I can whip up this evening. So make sure you get plenty done today. Work up a real high. Seems we have more than just the festival to look forward to now. You said it. All right, Rean, let's head over to the guild. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they have a store here. Like, it looks like their house could be like a store. Whose room was this? Nothing we're seeing here. Let's get going. Oh, is this your room, Elliot? Yeah, but like, man, he's messing there, so I'd really rather you didn't see it. Oh, no one gets flushed over just a mess suspicious. Well, I can't believe that Elliot, of all people, would have any material line about. Of course not. I'd rather you can go outside, that's all. Alright. Murder's really nice. Alright. Alright. Probably porn. This my dad's room. He's really home though, so the room's almost always locked. I guess you don't get much time to come home when you're in a position like this. Yeah. No. Yeah, this is definitely the place we're on the menu. I didn't think we'd end up staying in an old guild branch. I guess Group B has fixed up in the other one then. So there's more than one guild branch city? Yeah, back when Heimdall Guild still had a presence, back when the guild still had a presence in Heimdall, there were 2 branches. The guild pulled out of the city over a year ago, so not many patrons to these buildings now. That's so the guild still has an active branch in my hometown, Legram. Really, that's more the exception than the rule these days. The building looks surprisingly new considering they've been gone for over a year. Oh, that's because there was a big fire swept out through here about 2 years ago. They rebuilt buildings after that, but they wound up getting shuttered when the guild left town anyway. No one knows for sure whether the fire was an accident or not. Some people still think it was set by terrorists. That's the only thing I thought. It's just a rumor, though. There's no proof of anything. It must have been an operation. Nothing. Anyway, let's head in, shall we? My father gave us a key, so we should be able to let ourselves in. Well, shall we open it up? You know, I was actually expecting it to be way less tidy inside. There's some kind of notice posted up onto the walls plus on bulletin boards. It seems to be a notice of who's currently in charge of the building. Apparently, it's currently owned by a local government. Well, that explains why the government had authority to let us stay here while we're in town. Which part are we staying in, then? There's nothing but a reception counter down here. So I suppose we must be staying upstairs. Let's go drop off our stuff and see what we've got in store for today. He's prepared brand new beds for us and everything. Isn't that going a little far? This is an hotel. I'm not going to complain. Your dad really seems like a nice guy. We should appreciate his consideration. Alright. Now that we've got our lodging sorted out, time to take a look at today's task. Task Marcus' father selected certainly shows a variety what we expect from city this size. Yeah, well, we'll need to make sure we know exactly what each task involves taking on. Our group's covering the area east of Vancourt Street, so it might be a good idea to go around and scoop out all these places before noon. Agreed. I want to get an idea of where everything is. We can use orbital trans to visit all the relevant locations on this side of the city while we're going through our tasks. You two alright with being our travel guides? Of course, might as well put our knowledge to use. It may be hard to show you around a city this size, but I'll tell you as the grand tour as I can. She just said she'll fix dinner for us. So let's head back to where it starts getting late. Yeah, once we're done with everything, let's go to Elliot's house. Okay, let's get moving. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Understood. Let's do all we can to ensure we're not shown up by a groupie. Every time. Skip for Satan. Fucking Satan. This is Bouncer Suite. It sure is busy. Of course, it's the biggest series in Heimdall. There's more of it to it than just plots of Bifrost too, which means you'll see a lot of different types of people. Different types of people and different types of orbital vehicle systems. Well, that's partly due to the Imperial Transportation Act that came into effect last year. Don't run into road mafias. You're the last person I need to treat me like a child. Anyway, it sounds like we'll be coming here a lot during our visit. We better take that chance to familiar ourselves with shops here. No. Yeah, we'll go. And for keep it well here, sleep past it. I understand. You know, the recipe for anyone stops behind herself starts a recipe to make a delicious gratin you wouldn't believe trying yourself. Look at myself. Yeah, I'm trying to help these people. They're so rude. I don't know. People are really nice. You know, depends. Yeah, I went to the south, man. Yeah.
Okay. It's technically edible.
Wow, man. Okay. Parents work here. Okay. Cornell, Chapter 6, ascertaining the inner workings. My ornament, empty bag, and package wrapped in old magazine paper were laid out neatly on the table in front of me. The bracers sitting opposite me grazed alternately at my face and the items on the table as if trying to gauge my reaction to them. Constantly rubbing his chin between his fingers, it appeared to me as though he were making an effort to display his right hand snugly fit within a leather gauntlet. I had been led to the second floor of the lodge by the two men, and then, after they had painstakingly checked the layout of the floor, I was taken to the farthest room from upstairs. It occurred to me that the reason for the use of the makeshift space was due to there being no guild branch nearby. Bastards. The first man to sit in front of me was the lanky one. He told me his name, and I soon forgot which one was Clayton and which one was Pavel. About the time I had finished being frisked, the bracer wearing the gauntlets, Clayton or Pavel, whoever it was, returned and whispered something in his partner's ear. It seemed as though they were trying to locate Scarnelia but having no luck. But after probing on the subject of her in a Jaeger court, and after relaying everything I had after relaying everything I heard from her on the train, I turned the conversation around and playing the role of the victim, inquired about her past history. Truthfully speaking, I guess I was, in fact, a victim. Her name is Selnet Einselnet. Read aloud the lanky fucking bracer from a pocketbook he held just below eye level. Originally a constituent member of a Jaeger Corps, her present affiliation and activities are unknown. In short, added his partner pompously, she's not the type of person any upstanding citizen should be getting devout with. He reached out his gauntlet-clad hand and picked up the object bundle in the scrap paper. Checking my reaction all the while, he unwrapped the paper, laying it flat in the center of the table. Its contents turned out to be a lump of metal ingrained with a sort of clay-like substance. I blurted out. I was on my way to a research institute of the item when everything happened, and then threw in the address of some non-existent client for good measure. The register took notes, making sure not to leave out any details of the conversation. Then, to spell any lingering suspicious, I agreed to stay with them under their watchful eyes for the night. The next day, I also found myself inclined to go along with them to the nearest guild branch in order to file a report about the events that happened back at the station. I had no qualms over the matter. My greatest concern at the moment, after all, was not running into any more trouble. I awoke as the sun came up over the horizon and day broke. With the advent of a peaceful morning, I sat up in bed and breathed a sigh of relief. The bracers who had stood guard the previous night were no longer present in the room, but the sound of their voices could be heard echoing out in the hallway beyond the closed door. Slipping my arms to the sleeves of my jacket, I felt a sharp pain in my right elbow, which brought back vivid memories of the woman from the day before. Suddenly, a feeling of uneasiness came over me, and still half undressed, I began adjusting my ornament. After opening its back cover, I used a thin piece of tan doeskin and started plucking out the cords installed in each slot. It didn't take but 5 minutes to insert them each into different slots and rearrange the configuration with a set of light magic as my base. One by one, I replaced each screw until finally the metallic panel was back in place, and as a feeling of calmness set in, I rolled back over his bed. It was at that time that a tall woman, appearing to be a maid, opened the door carrying a basin of hot water for the sink, with which guests could shave and wash their faces. After placing the small steaming tub on a table, the woman went quietly about her daily task of removing the bed linen. Finding myself shooed from my own bed, I reluctantly headed toward the basin when just beyond the open door, I caught sight of two shadows cutting across the hallway in succession. "They're here," I heard myself mutter as the tone of my suppressed voice reached my ears. With only a bar of soap in hand, I remained unbelievably calm, and I quickly shut and bolted the door. Then pondering my next move, I stood still with my back pressed up against the wall. On the other side of the hardened clay wall, the brief clamor of fighting ensued. Fumbling with a chain attached to my hip pocket, I grabbed hold of an ornament I had adjusted just barely moments before. It was 2 braces versus 2 others I had seen moments ago. Throwing myself into the mix with the 2 men from the guild would definitely put us at a disadvantage from a number standpoint. However, when I turned again to face the door, the voice of my self-doubt came, percolating through my closed lips in the form of a distant mutter. There were only 2 of them, I murmured to myself. If Sister Cornelia's words were to be believed, then one unit consisted of 3 people, not 2. Again, I questioned myself inwardly. Then where's the third? The hair on the back of my neck stood on end as I realized my plight. Something swung down over the top of my head, catching me around the neck, and the next instant, I was flung to the ground. From the corner of my blurred and spotted vision came an explicit view of a woman with demonic blood-shot eyes standing over me, trying to wrench the very life out of me with every twist of the sheet she had wrapped tightly around my throat. Clutching my ornament in hand, I activated and fired off a burst of magic while lying half shade on the wooden plank of the room. Floor. The destructive vortex of compressed air sliced deeply into my head, but at the same time caused a woman to double over before forcefully blowing her to another part of the room. Shreds of whirling linen flicked and sprayed with fresh blood blasted out through a gaping hole in the wall where a closed window once stood, leaving nothing behind but shards of broken glass and a frame rent beyond repair. Cornelia, deaf and friend, wheezing, I breathed in the sound high and whistling as the air fought to make it through my constricted windpipe. Still clutching tightly to my orphan, I unwound the sheets from my throat. Utterly exhausted, I tilted my head on its side and watched with red eyes as a small stream of saliva dribbled down over the edge of my mouth and pulled onto the floor. When fresh air finally made its way into my lungs, it initially choked me nearly as badly as the sheet had. A thump from somewhere behind startled me from my fit. The Jaeger demoness, like a spring-loaded doll, leaped up from the floor of the room. The single shot of magic I had previously landed in her gut should have done a trick, but the fluid way she moved about made it appear as if she were unfazed by the blast. Within arm's reach of where I had subconsciously curled myself came the splintering sound of unseasoned wood being hewn by a giant woodcutter's axe. In the following instant, Sister Nellie came flying through a newly opened hole in a timber door, her entry punctuated by a cloud of splinters, her arms as plain as whips. She passed by the female Jaeger in a lightning quick motion, and with a turn assault, clocked her opponent full tilt in the face. The woman spun with the force of the blow and fell with the monstrous thud, her head cracking hard against the floor. Like a prima ballerina, Sister Cornelia raised her knee high until she had tucked it securely up against her sternum. She flared down at the outstretched figure on the floor. Muscles flexed, and without an ounce of mercy, Sister Cornelia let her judgment fall over the heel of her boot, stomping down, crushing the wretched woman's throat. As I witnessed the grotesque and unsightly scene, Sister Cornelia gave me a quick glance in my direction and beckoned me on. Then with a nimble hop into the unknown before her, she cleared a broken window frame and lighted to the ground below. Quickly tripping my belongings together, I made after her in the same story as she had left. Out the window with a 2-story drop to the cobblestone side rail below. Waiting close by and helping to break my less than elegant fall, Sister Cornelia led me on as we took flight from along the avenue brightly. Lit by the morning sun, a deafening blare from an orbital engine's whistle indicated that the first train was about to depart. Sister Cornelia immediately pulled a ticket from out of her coat pocket and held it out to me from the side. Reaching for a fluttering strip of paper between her fingers, I realized I was still carrying the bar of soap from before, so I chucked it, not caring where it landed or who it might hit. Aboard its train in the smoky haze from its incessant smoking of an narrow gentleman had permeated. A narrow gentleman had permeated into every nook and cranny of the passenger car. There was also the smell of newly printed publications and the occasional sound of someone clearing their throat. It felt rather awkward to have boarded a train bound for the Imperial City with my bag still in hand. Do you know what your problem is, Toby? Scornero remarked. You're just like that orphan of yours. Using her white handkerchief, she staunched the flow of blood from my leg, which had been lacerated by the spinning arrow blades of the magic. Once you get yourself in trouble, you keep digging yourself in deeper until someone comes along with a billy club and whacks some good sense into you. Placing a folded magazine on my lap, she tapped on it with the nail tip of her index finger, indicating that I should read what was inside. It was a copy of the Imperial Chronicle, which had been published just that morning. A several-line article buried pages behind more titillating news told of the suspicious death of one horrible factory owner somewhere within the capital. This was the first time I had ever become aware of Mick's real age. Sister Cornelia continued her lecture as she mercilessly upbraided me for my reckless behavior. You missed being caught up in all of this by a hair's breadth, she informed me coolly. At a loss for words over the shock of Mick's death, I put the magazine away in my trench coat pocket. Another 5 minutes in that shop and you would have gone to meet your maker too. I shook my head and with trembling lips let my thoughts fumble out of my mouth. I just don't get it. Why did Mick have to die? Images of Mick's cold body behind the counter are currently in my mind with that of the lump metal wrapped in scrap paper. Just what the hell had I been carrying all this time, and why did anyone have to die over it? I pondered, bastards. Finally, Sister Cornelia met my eyes and held them. Because it's an artifact, she said simply. An artifact, I scoffed as I blew off her answer. It's not like I haven't carried a bunch of them before. Artifacts, in short, were the remaining legacy of an ancient civilization, and generic term for any identifiable mechanism which resembled that of an ornament. I spent my days securely smuggling any number of those items under false pretense that the goods I was carrying were nothing more than rare antiques, and readily placed them in the hands of those aristocrats, amongst whom they were especially in vogue. And for the most part, my current position appeared as though it belonged in the same group as the others. Personally, I could find no other value in collecting these artifacts besides the indulgence of oneself in a decadent hobby. Chiding me as if I were the clearest child, Sister Cornelia rebuked. You're wrong, Toby. This one's much different than the others. After a moment's pause, she added, it's alive. Unable to grasp what she had meant, I looked at her with a questioning expression on my face. Sister Cornelia tried again. What I'm trying to tell you is that it still works, although I'm not really sure what kind of power it actually has. It was unearthed during the excavation within the Empire territory about 30 years ago. Sister Cornelia's story about the peculiar lump of metal told our dark history surrounding a group of aristocrats who relentlessly sought after it. The artifact itself had transitioned from hand to hand by those in power. As one another, they were murdered while slumbering in their bedchambers. Then, at the end of the 100 Days' War, its whereabouts were said to have been lost. And strangely enough, it finally turned up in the capital after all this time, she said, finishing up the account. An announcement chimed in and patched her card, notifying those riding of the scheduled time of arrival. Sister Cornelia uncrossed and recrossed her long legs. The one who was after that artifact hired the Jaeger Corps to bring it to them, whatever the cost. So as a result, I was both dispatched by the church in order to protect both you and it from falling into their hands. I sat staring down at the bag resting next to my feet as we approached our destination, and the moving train quietly began to lose speed. All right. We got 3 damn books. Cornelia, Chapter 8, In the Bowels of the Imperial City. Moving purposely through the crowd, we made our way between the rows of seats. Each time the swinging bag in hand struck the side of my knee, I became keenly aware of its presence. It was an unnerving feeling, quite like I had unintentionally brushed up against someone in an offensive way. Furthermore, it was nearly inconceivable in my mind that the ancient relic of the Jaeger Corps were pursuing which side of frenzy was sitting right here inside a stitched cloth of this cheap handbag. What a fool Mitch had been. Hadn't he known the burden this object would be one far more weighty than both of us could have ever hoped to bear. I squeezed my eyes shut against the thoughts flying around my mind and addressed Sister Cornelia, who followed close behind me. Will we be making a break for the cathedral once we get off? Yes, that was the plan, she answered, scanning the scene outside the window of the passenger car. I think that's the only option we've got if you want to make it through this day alive. The station where the train was set to arrive was unremittingly crowded with countless droves of passengers, and as usual, the sky was slightly overcast. Everyone outside on the platform stood shivering in silence, and with their collars drawn up to their ears, huddling close to one another for warmth like a flock of waterfowl out on the tidelands in midwinter. Don't worry. I won't be tossing you down a flight of stairs this time, Toby, just as Sister Cornelia. Although, if there were two more of you at my disposal, I might have decided otherwise, she added. And evidently, the numbers in our welcome party this time had seen a rather dramatic increase. The odds don't appear to be in our favor, she said in a low voice, and her warmth breath tickling the lobe of my ear. We won't be able to leave through the ticket gate. As soon as we stepped off the train, we stealthily moved to the opposite end of the platform, and after sneaking out a large door, for only authorized station personnel, we jumped down onto the path of railroad ties and steel rails below. The biting cold wind of the railroad cat swept freely across the unobstructed railroad tracks, caused me to shudder as if it ruffled our coat with its chilly touch. Sitting between the couplers of a pair of freight cars, we moved cautiously along their edge, staying close to the shadows. Over on the cargo platform, workers were busy unloading containers. Wow. So like one sentence for the page 7 spot. For someone who had his mind set on becoming a dealer of pilfered goods, gaining legal entry into the station house would be one of the first of all bases. Showing my ticket, I spoke politely to one of the workers. Then, with a scenario picked down in my head, I sold it to him. As I played the part of a manager here on business with a celebrity of notable repute. Midway through our conversation, I introduced Sister Cornelia, who did her best to show the man a glamorous smile and feminine pose. I had possibly gone a bit overboard when I stated that she was an opera singer, because the way that she carried herself made her look more akin to a low-wage saleswoman in a bar of drunkards. Yet, in spite of all that, the worker graciously let us through. You're so good at that. It's almost scary, Toby, and Sister Cornelia said as we raced through the station's warehouse sector. You should seriously consider doing another job, she went on. I bet you're going to tell me to join the Bracer Guild, right? Come on, those guys will turn me down in a heartbeat, I said as I laughed off the thought. Then throwing the idea back in her court, I asked, so how about yourself? Why don't you join the Bracer Guild? Reaching the end of the warehouse sector, we came to a stop in front of a large chain-link fence. Sister Cornelia crouched down and, while sliding a drainage cover to the side, laughed at my previous question, as if it were saying, "Are you kidding?" she asked. They gunned me down the second I set foot into one of their branches. The winding narrow stone tunnel is like the one we were in and ran everywhere beneath the Capitol. We crawled along as the light shining down through the drainage gates on the side of the large road above us illuminated the way like a trail of flickering orbital lampposts. The feet of those walking along the avenue passed right by where we were, but not a single person noticed us scraping our way along below them. And for some strange reason or another, the world just beyond the thin flagstone paved road appeared so dazzling in my eyes. Yet the Jaeger Corps lost to the sudden artifact in hand and a sense of sudden death, all of which had never crossed my mind before, lay in wait for me dared I venture into the open world above. As we pressed on, I began to think that the small round tunnel which we were crawling through would run on forever, when finally it emerged the high-ceiling sewer surrounded by walls of countless blocks of chisel stone. We'll go through here and make our way over to where the cathedral is located, Sister Cornelia insisted. Raised one brow, she pointed her finger upward. It's a lot safer down here than it is up there. That's fine and all, but what are we going to do if it gets attacked? Sister Cornelia grabbed my hand and with that stepped into the muddy darkness beyond. Don't worry, Toby, she reassured me. Faith isn't the only thing supporting the search. That's fun. Wow, that was a lot. 30-something, 30, 40, 50-something pages. What the fuck, man? And all those were kind of blank pages, man. I mean, that's interesting. I just always found it interesting. Yeah, let's go back to the street I was at. Okay. Ah. Reinforced Tachi's polished blade has a scarlet glow. I wish they chose different weapons, what it looks like and shit, but I guess I'll take it. No, you don't have to. Alright guys, all right for this one here. Bronson 3 out this leave, and so there, bye-bye.